What's the weirdest thing you've cooked in the wildest place?
Well, there are two different answers to that. So the wildest place, I don't know. I mean, I once did a fancy dinner on in the galley of a fishing boat offshore. That was pretty interesting with 20-foot seas. It's a little no tweezers in the plating on that case. But the weirdest thing I ever cooked, it's not the weirdest thing I've ever eaten. The weirdest thing I've ever eaten were mopani worms in Zimbabwe, which are gross.
Yeah, agreed. Seconded.
If you're listening to that out here and you have no idea what they are, imagine a very small mozzarella stick. It comes with a hot sauce and everything, but it's not a mozzarella stick. It's a fried caterpillar. And instead of like nice gooey cheese in the side, it's gooey ick that you don't want to really eat, and it's gross. So don't eat mopani worms. They're gross.
Yeah.
The weirdest, but I didn't cook those. I cooked a thing called a coatimundi.
What's one of those?
So a coatimundi, imagine a raccoon and a baboon had a love child, and that's a coatimundi.
Where on earth do you find those things?
They range from Arizona to deepest South America. So they're the farthest north they get is southern Arizona. And a colleague of mine shot one. They're legal game. You can get one a year. And he's skinning it out because he was going to get it taxidermy, I think. And I'm like, oh, he's doing it in the kitchen, which is a little weird. So I'm like, what are you going to do? Well, I'm skinning it out so I can eat it. I'm like, you're going to eat that thing? I'm like, okay. And he's like, well, how are you going to cook it? And this guy was like, yeah, I'm just going to throw it on the grill. I'm like, oh, dude, don't hurt yourself. So just give me the damn thing. So it was weird. It was like, it's not a primate. It's I don't know what class of animals it is. It's probably close to whatever raccoons are. But it had light meat, like pork-ish, kind of like pork shoulder, and it was fatty. So I braised it and it took like 3 hours for it to get tender. And then once it got tender, I made a kind of a desert Southwest barbecue sauce, painted the pieces with the barbecue sauce and finished grilling it over mesquite. And mesquite's a kind of really strongly flavored wood that has a really aromatic smoke. And it was amazing. It was great. It was, but I had to use my like special chef skills to like, okay, here's this unknown meat. I don't know if it's going to be off flavor or not. So I'm going to braise it with a bunch of flavors till it's tender because you don't want to eat it when it's tough. And then everything likes to be barbecued and smoked. So
it makes
I did that
better.
2-step, right? I did the 2-step on it, and it turned out to be really quite good. And I mean, not to the point where I want to go out shooting coatimundis, but that was pretty successful.
That's almost, I suppose, and you can tell me whether I'm right or wrong, but it almost feels like what you just said is a bit of if somebody wants to get into foraging, hunting, fishing, sort of field to table type thing and have that as a passion or a hobby or a pastime, most things that we eat, we do have a comparable other source of it somewhere else. You mentioned about the interior bear being beef with pork fat. So therefore, we do actually, when we spend some time looking at these foods, we do actually have some other frames of reference that we can fall back on. It's not, I mean, it doesn't have to be maybe as, I don't know, as terrifying and nerve-wracking as maybe you might originally think it might be.
For the most part, you're 100% correct. There are a few instances where there's just no substitute. There is nothing that you can buy that tastes anything like a woodcock or a snipe.
Yep.
That's the example that springs to mind. They taste like themselves. Grouse are their own thing. Even though they look like a chicken, they don't taste like a chicken. And it freaks people out sometimes because they look like chickens. People are like, oh, it's going to taste like chicken. Like, nope, it tastes like grouse. And it's a very unique flavor.
And also I've seen with grouse that people get twitchy if there's a bit of pink or a bit too much moisture in the grouse because they're used to Well, let's be honest. Most people have very dry chicken when they eat chicken, and but actually, if you cook a grouse like a chicken, my experience is you have a pretty unsavory thing to eat.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, especially the English grouse, which are really a ptarmigan. They're a dark meat and they're pretty funky. So the whole glorious 12th thing, that bird's basically a ptarmigan. It's a red meat grouse. It's very strongly flavored, and it has to be cooked medium. If you cook it well done like a chicken, it becomes a vehicle for gravy.
So how do you recommend, other than buying your books, which people should go and buy your books that are available everywhere, all bookstores, websites, your website. I'll put the website link below so people can go find it, and Amazon. But how do you recommend people get into the sort of field to table type cooking? Because I've noticed since with COVID this year, there seems to be a big upward trend of homesteading and people getting into their own gardening and self-reliance and those sorts of things. So this is really on people's radars at this point in time.
It is. I think the best way to get into it, especially in the time of Miss Rona, yeah, I mean, we've been ranting about it a bit on this podcast, but this is the good part of the internet, is your ability to connect with people and to learn things remotely. And yeah, my books are definitely one way to start. The website, Hunter Angler Gardener Cook, is a great way to start. But if you want to have kind of broad interactivity on this kind of subject, at least in my world, I run a Facebook group called Hunt Gather Cook. It is a private group, so you have to answer questions to get in, and just say that you heard me on this podcast. And it is a no drama group about bettering your skills with wild food. There's 20,000 members in it, and I have to ban somebody for being, out of line maybe once a month, which is unprecedented. We're a pretty cool, chill group of people who just want to get better at whatever wild food that it is that we're doing. So we have everything from, trophy hunter guys who eat their deer to, hippie vegetarians. I mean, it's everybody is welcome in that. And that's a really good way for you to ask questions. And like weird stuff, even routinely you'll get a question like, hey, I just shot this porcupine and I don't want to make it go to waste. What do you do? And there'll be like 15 people who are like, oh yeah, I do this with porcupine. And so we're like the Borg. Resistance is futile, and we get smarter because of we're of the ability to bounce off each other's ideas. And I learn stuff on that every day. And I do this for a living.